Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to take a really simple conversation, just to chat about a coffee cup, to unpack a much bigger idea. What actually gives something its value?
So let's start with a feeling I think we all know. You buy something, you try your best to take care of it, but eventually, especially with something you use every day like a cup, it breaks.
And that's the heart of the frustration, isn't it? That feeling that so many of these cheap, mass-produced things, well, they almost feel like they're designed to break, just so you have to go back and buy another one.
Okay, so the customer in our little story here is looking for a solution. She wants something durable, something that will finally break that cycle. The shopkeeper says he has an option, but yeah, there's a pretty big catch.
2,000 rupees for one single cup. And the customer's reaction is exactly what you'd expect. It's not just the sticker shock, it's what the cup actually looks like for that kind of money.
And this really gets us to the central puzzle here. Her own word for it is shoddy. So why on earth would something that looks so poorly made cost so much? The value clearly isn't in some polished, perfect appearance.
Now, the shopkeeper doesn't even try to argue about how it looks. Instead, he starts to build a completely different case for its value based on a foundation of things you can't really see.
So here's the crucial part. The value isn't just in what the cup does. It's in its story, where it comes from, what makes it unique. It's durable, it's crafted by hand, it uses these exotic materials, and then he sums it all up with one very powerful word. And there it is. He's not selling a cup, he's selling art. That one little word completely reframes the whole thing. It suggests there was intention, real craftsmanship, a rarity you're just not going to find in something that rolled off a factory line.
But, does this whole explanation actually work? Let's get to the real turning point in the conversation. The moment the customer's mind really begins to change, and it happens not just by listening, but by touching.
So she picks up the cup, and at first that rough texture seems like just another problem, right? It confirms her suspicion that it's cheaply made, it doesn't have that smooth, perfect finish she expects. But then comes the big reframe.
And just like that, what seemed like an imperfection becomes the proof of its authenticity. That roughness isn't a mistake. It's the signature of the human hand that made it. The cup's biggest flaw just became its most important feature.
And you can almost see the switch flip in her head. Her attitude completely transforms. The very same object that looked shoddy and cheap a moment ago is now a precious item, something to be protected and valued. The cup didn't change, but the story behind it did.
But this brings up the most important question of all, doesn't it? Now that she sees the value, is that value universal? Would everyone else look at this and see a 2,000 rupee piece of art?
And this little comment highlights the ultimate truth. Value is deeply subjective. For her mom, a cup's worth is about its function and its market price. That's it. The whole story, the artistic merit, that narrative that sold the daughter would be completely lost on her mother.
This really shows us that value is often just a narrative we choose to believe in. So the next time you see a simple object with a surprisingly high price tag, ask yourself, am I buying the object or am I buying the story?